What's news, Artifam? This is Artifact News coming to you with episode number 14, Space Pod Burning, The Signal. Yeah, it's been only about 24 hours since the last video, but I thought I would get in here and drop some reactions to the Signal video that we saw today, plus share a little bit of thoughts on the campaign, and also what I'm excited for tomorrow for the pod burning event. And yeah, this is not going to be a long video. The last one was like an hour long. I'm thinking this is probably going to be maybe a 10-minute video here at the most. But I just wanted to get in here and get fired up and share some excitement with you, because this is, you know, once in a lifetime type event here with this space pod burning that we've been waiting for so long for. So yeah, hey, let's just dive into the video and see what we got, right? Let's do this. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap of the campaign on January 31st, Monday. And, you know, it all started with clone 1651. You probably know her by now, but here she is. If you want to go check it out, go to OpenSea and you can type in 1651, search for her, and there she is. So she's basically the star of this, turning into mainly the main star of Clone X at this point. But yeah, so that's kind of where it started off. With 1651 on Twitter asking these questions, and there wasn't as many logical puzzles this time around. This was more like getting community feedback using polls on Twitter. So we were just in there answering a bunch of the questions and providing feedback based on the questions that were asked. So like, you know, here's an example right here. Who are you? What is the Animus Core? Operation Exodus? And how can we help? So then the community would select one, and then the story would progress from there. So yeah, I'm not going to dig into all of it. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights here. And one of the highlights for me was when we actually found out who was asking these, who we were in this dialogue with. And it was, in my opinion, I thought it was Fafnir. And this was a good tweet here. We are all the progenitor scions. We are kin. We help each other. I am the first of my kind. I am the dragon, Fafnir. You take care of younger kin. Now I save you. Obviously, younger kin, those are the Animus eggs. They are the younger kin of the dragon Fafnir, but we're all the progenitor scions. And I looked up scion, and scion, gosh, I believe it had something to do with just being the descendants of something. So we're all the descendants of the progenitor. Something else that I thought was pretty interesting was this mention of the Chrono twins, but here you can see, I do not save this world. You pass through etheric steam beyond. You meet the Chrono twins. You find aether crystals on a frozen world. You drink 3 times from the cosmic river. Okay, that sounds pretty specific and pretty interesting. You know, I'm hearing like you find aether crystals on a frozen world, and then it just made me kind of go back to this picture that we saw here. Here you can see there's 1651 standing with an Animus. It looks like they're looking at a frozen aether crystal. And also, I mean, if you can see in the upper right-hand corner, right above the portals, basically, you can see what looks like the space pods. The new space pods, new and improved spaceship pods, right? So, I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting. Maybe that's an aether crystal. Definitely a frozen world. Everything kind of wrapped up with this right here. You fare well. You meet wondrous artisans. You build worlds. The source shines through you. This is your journey. So, you know, like the source, like the creative force of the world, right? You know, Artifact's really into promoting creativity through the community and just promoting creativity in general. And So I don't know. I really like this tweet here because we're protecting the younger kin. Okay, that's the animus. We got that too. We're gonna meet wondrous artisans. You know, the first artisan that we met was the Wondersmith. That was an artisan of, I guess not, I don't want to say luggage because I don't think in this world they'd call it luggage, but containers or I don't know, some kind of protective containers. We've already met the Wondersmith, that artisan. You know, they already said that we're going to meet another artisan, like maybe the Byredo artisan. That's the artisan of aroma or something, you know. But there might be just a bunch of different artisans along the way that we meet and kind of interact with, and the story forms around these artisans. And we build worlds. That's interesting. I wonder, it could be pretty cool in the future if we have some hand in building the actual city. I'm not saying it's going to be like Minecraft or anything, but just even, you know, if we're in on the development in any way, that's going to be great. So yeah, that was the final tweet basically of that. It was a cool campaign for sure. They mentioned these books in the campaign also. Something to keep in mind. I'm not exactly sure what it means. Battlestar Galactica, Christine, Slaughterhouse 5. How they all correlate or tie in, or if it's just some fun references for, you know, the team and maybe they love those books or something and they just wanted to kind of put those in there, or if that's going to have something to do with the overall lore or something. But I do know it was a lot of fun today listening in with Cass and the crew in there. And JKB, shout out to JKB for the Battlestar Galactica. That was hilarious. I was listening to all that. I was at work, but it was really fun. And thank you for hosting that again, Cass, and for the whole crew showing up. But yeah, these were just some books that were mentioned in the campaign, so I wanted to throw those out there just in case maybe you know something I don't know about that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, some of the other alpha that was dropped today that was super interesting. MLM. Hey, shout out to MLM here for this. With the mind blower early. So yeah, follow MLM at NFT MLM. But so what did MLM uncover? Well, earlier in the day, there was this somebody, I think it was MLM, but was on the actual pod site and saw this banner here. So, super crazy. I mean, look at this banner. I'm sure you saw it already. You may have saw it, but it should be all over Twitter at this point. But they shortly changed it after this. But that didn't stop us from seeing it for a moment there. And as you can see, it's looking like, I mean, if these are in order of 1, 2, 3, 4, like we saw on the schematic, then we're looking at the space pod here in the red all the way to the left, the smaller one, then the loot pod, which the loot pod was bigger in actuality, so here it's shown bigger again. But then the one ship here, the red one with the gray, that's a pretty large ship. Is that in position 3 right there? Because if it's in position 3, we know from the schematic that position 3 is the two space pod and two loot pod burn. So is that huge ship going to be the one that's the 2x2? And then on the right, we see this small, sleek, black ship. Is that going to be the 20x20 ship? And if so, how is that going to be justified for that? I'm sure there is a justification. If that is the ship, who knows? These could just be out of order in general. I mean, you know, they might not be in any kind of specific order at all. So I would think that the red and the gray one would be ship number 4, which would be the 20x20 loot pods. But you never know. Maybe the black ship does something. Maybe it goes super fast or something. Or maybe has weaponry, or who knows. Anyway, this was super interesting, right? Like, this is our first look. I'm sure by the time you guys see this, maybe pod burning is already out there and you can already see everything that's out there, but I thought this was super interesting. So thank you, MLM, for that. Okay. So now let's dive in and check out the actual video, right? Big video. Here we go. Wow. How amazing was that video? The directing, look at the Solar City right there in the background. Oh, there's the GM cup that everybody fell in love with. Look at that thing. Let's forge that. But here you can see, okay, now the warning's coming in from Yarlin's scouting mission. And now it's just time to evacuate. Hit the Exodus sequence, boom. Okay, so now here's the upgrade, the pod upgrade. As you can see, the triple monitor goes into a ultra-wide monitor. Here you can see the shoes as well. There's like a holographic shoe, and now we have the egg appearing in the pod as well. 1651 turns and looks, and there's the new space pod right there. Okay. So now this section right here, if you notice at the very beginning of that section, we'll catch it on the way back. All of those pods are gray. Okay, they're all grayed out. And then that purple, upgrade indication, that purple effect that we see that seems to be upgrading everything, that sweeps through those pods and turns them all from gray to different colors. And now, what the heck does that mean? What could that possibly mean right there? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's multiple colors. I think I counted. I mean, there's almost as many colors as there are DNA, but I'm not going to even say that they're connected to the DNA at all. But I'm really interested why there's different colored pods out there. I mean, does that even matter? Is it just like some kind of fun indicator or something? But definitely when that purple comes, so here it comes right here. Okay, so look at, they're all gray, and now they're turning colors as it spreads out. You got orange, blue, yellow, black, white. Then you have this one that has a skull on the front of it. So there are definitely, gosh, there's probably like 7 or 8 different colors. Does that mean, I don't know what that means. That's going to be very interesting. And with the circle out there, I mean, it seems to be that it looks like the loot pod circle that's inside of the loot pod. So are those all loot pods? Are they connected to a space pod? Is that entire tower right there, is that just only loot pods in that section? There are a lot of questions that we can have here. But look, she's reading the research facility digest or whatever on the table there. You can see there's a lot of different upgrades that are coming to this pod in general. I wonder what's going to happen here with OnCyber and Unreal Engine. I mean, is OnCyber going to be powered by Unreal Engine now, or is this all just transferring over to Unreal Engine. I don't know, but here we go. Once again, you can see the skulls in there. You can see each of the pods have the circle on the outside, and then we got about 8 different colors. I'd like to give props to Alts Anonymous for calling this way back in the day that the space pods were in that tower. I'd like to definitely give props to Alts for that. And props to Ad Mayo for calling that there's going to be spaceships involved. So yeah, you know, the Giga Brains out here calling some stuff really early. It's very cool. So yeah, I don't know. We could watch this all day long and just speculate on all of these different things. But honestly, like at this point, you probably have already heard a bunch of information. So I'm not going to belabor this point, but I just wanted to say, like, the directing on this is so amazing once again. And I just want to give props to the whole team for nailing all of this. And I am super excited to see what's in store for all of us. I mean, this level right here, this is on that crazy level that, like, the production value looks like something that could definitely be on Netflix or in a movie or something. And that it would be probably super popular too, because it just looks very interesting. So I'm fired up. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Now that we've checked out the video and just talked a little bit about some of the alpha that we saw earlier, you know, thank you MLM again. But I don't know. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. I'm super fired up. And just to reiterate here, tomorrow is the pod burn. It's open from 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Eastern Time, and then 10 p.m. JST. Okay? And it's only on RTFKT.com. So stay zen, no rush, and make sure to only follow our official accounts and domain URL and buckle up. So just be super careful tomorrow. Definitely do all your due diligence, check everything 10 different times, and just make sure that you're being as safe as possible. RTFKT.com, make sure you go to the Discord, through the Twitter, and just communicate with anybody if you have any problems. So thank you everybody for showing up for this. This is going to be a very exciting day tomorrow, and I'm going to be at work, but I'm going to be following along on Twitter. So leave me some comments on this video about your experience, or send me a message or something, because I'd love to read it. So, okay. Thank you for joining me on episode 14, Space Pod Burning, The Signal. We've waited a whole entire year for this. This is a great moment for the entire Clone X community, and thank you for joining me once again. And I cannot wait to see what happens today. So, love you all. Go news yourself.